You know that feeling? You have this brilliant idea. It feels so right, but then it just goes nowhere. Well, today we're going to take a classic tool straight from the business world and use it as a kind of mirror for our own personal decisions. Let's jump in and see how this thing actually works. All right, first up, why do good ideas fail? And spoiler alert, it's probably not for the reason you think. Okay, let's get right to it. Why do so many side hustles and personal projects just fail? I mean, you've got the passion, right? You've got the idea, you're putting in the work, and then poof, it fizzles out. It's a question that can totally crater your confidence, but the answer, well, it's probably not what you're expecting. So think about the cost of a bad decision. For a big company, sure, it's money, it's reputation, but for us, the stakes are honestly way higher. We're talking about our energy, our confidence, and our peace of mind. You know, the stuff you can't just write off as a business expense. And this is the absolute heart of the matter. Most of us don't fail because our ideas are bad. No way. We fail because our ideas just don't fit our reality. It's a mismatch, a disconnect between the brilliant plan and the actual messy life we're living. So what does that mismatch actually look like? Well, it could be picking a project that needs skills you just don't have yet. Or, and oh man, this is a big one, completely underestimating how much time and energy you really have, after the job, the family, the everything else. And that last one is a classic trap, isn't it? Copying some path that worked for a person you saw online without stopping to think if it actually fits your life. Okay, so how do we avoid falling into that trap? We need a tool that forces us to look at reality, plain and simple. And that's where the SWOT analysis comes in. Now, don't let the name scare you. Forget all the corporate buzzwords. Just think of it as a framework for having a really honest chat with yourself. And look, this isn't some new fad. The SWOT analysis has been around since the 60s. It's a tried and true method that big companies use to take a breath, look at where they really are, and avoid making huge mistakes. We're just going to borrow that same smart thinking for ourselves. So here is the whole thing in a nutshell. It's just 4 boxes. On one side, you've got the internal stuff. That's all about you. The helpful things are your strengths, and the harmful things are your weaknesses. Then, on the other side, you've got the external stuff, everything going on around you. Helpful things are opportunities, and harmful things are threats. That's it. Simple, but wow, is it powerful. Now, this is super important to get. The point of this is not to predict the future. We're not trying to find a crystal ball that guarantees success. Not at all. The whole purpose here is to get crystal clear on your situation before you jump into action. It's about clarity, not prophecy. All right, so if you want to get that kind of clarity, you've got to follow a few simple rules. This is how you do it right. It really just boils down to 3 simple rules. Rule number 1, be factual, not emotional. This is about data, not judging yourself. Rule 2, focus on the now. We're talking about your current reality, not some future fantasy version of you. And rule 3, keep it concise. 1 sentence per box. That forces you to cut through the fluff and find what really matters. Let me show you exactly what I mean by factual versus emotional. Saying something like, I'm bad at business. Well, what does that even mean? It's just a feeling. You can't do anything with it. But saying, I have no experience selling, now that is a fact. It's a specific data point you can actually work with. See the difference? One is a dead end, the other is a starting point. And that really brings us to the right mindset for this whole thing. Your goal here isn't to write a complete autobiography of your entire life. It's not about listing everything. Your goal is just honesty. Radical honesty about what's true for you right here, right now. So you do all this work, you're brutally honest with yourself. What's the payoff? Well, this is it. You get clarity before you act. And that clarity lets you make smarter, better decisions right from the get-go. But you got to be careful to avoid a few common traps people fall into. First, don't treat your weaknesses like they're permanent flaws. They're just skills you don't have yet. Also, don't write down your future goals as current strengths. That's just wishful thinking. And for goodness sake, be honest about your real energy levels. Hype and motivation can't replace a plan that actually fits your life. Okay, let's manage expectations here. A personal SWOT is amazing for increasing your realism and helping you dodge obvious mistakes. It makes your starting decision way better. But here's what it can't do. It can't guarantee success. It can't prove there's a market for your idea, And it definitely can't replace actually getting out there and testing things in the real world. Here's maybe the simplest way to put it. This whole exercise protects you from making bad bets. It helps you weed out the ideas that were never going to work for you anyway. But it doesn't choose the winning horse for you. You still have to do that. If there is one thing I want you to walk away with, it is this right here. Motivation is a feeling. It's exciting, it's powerful, and it is completely unreliable. It comes and goes. But fit, a project that truly fits your reality, that is solid. That is what will keep you going when the motivation fades. So please, remember this. When you're done, the paper in front of you isn't a final decision set in stone. Not at all. What you have is a really, really good starting hypothesis. It's a smart guess, grounded in reality, that you can now go out and start exploring. So I'll just leave you with this one last question to chew on. Once you've laid it all out, which path forward feels less like a shot of adrenaline and more calm? Which one feels less exciting and more right? Sometimes that quiet, calm clarity is the very best signal you can get.